Well, they almost took me out today again. And by that, I mean I went to the clinic and they wanted to test my blood. So they drew blood. And right when they were finishing filling up all the vials of blood, I started collapsing. And then I was not screaming, but I was going, oh, oh, oh. And mainly because they said, can you talk to us? Can you talk to us? So I said, oh. The room was spinning, my chest was collapsing, I was blacking out, in and out of consciousness. I had not eaten from 4 p.m. This is nothing. There's people who don't eat for a whole year. They're much bigger than I am, but they don't eat for a whole year. I didn't eat from 4 p.m. all the way to 10 the next morning, uh, which shouldn't be bad, but I think the big problem was hydration again. I buckled down for a few days. Anyway, I'm good now, but oh my goodness, I think I was gone. The entire clinic came into the phlebotomist chair office and they told me that I had lost all of my color. And by that, they said I had turned white. I do AI art, computer graphics art, and one of the things to promote true realism, this is why I was trying to harp on the robots having real skin, is that the skin is actually see-through, even with your pigmentation on top of it. The skin is actually see-through, and what you're literally looking at is the blood and the muscles underneath the skin. Most of the skin is made of fat, so it's kind of translucent. It lets light go through the skin, so you are looking into the skin. So I said, it's not possible I could turn white. She said, it's possible, as much as that doesn't seem real. Your lips turned completely white, like you were Opie Taylor on what is it? The Walton. What is it? Leave It to Beaver. What was the show? It was an old show with white people in it. She said, yeah, you lost all your color. So I have to really concentrate on drinking water and drinking electrolytes every day. Today I want to talk about, so that means you all have been very good. Every time you leave a comment, please say, drink water right now. Because when I see the comment, I can guarantee you I haven't had a drink in about an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I am not trying to check out. It's just that I just don't like water. And so then subconsciously, I just don't even think about water. So there you go. Today I want to talk about, and everybody knows it, social media has impacted women specifically to the point where you have the hoflation, right? And it is way blown out of proportion, more than you actually understand. Anything that you think that you could conceive of, you haven't even touched the surface of just how bad this is. You have a legitimate, so I have a psychology degree. You have a legitimate psychological diagnosis called FOMO, fear of missing out. They have tested it and done studies and concluded all of the pings and stuff, all of that stuff gives the same sort of brain reaction as somebody who takes heroin or something like that, some sort of drug. Same reaction. In the history of mankind, there's never been anything like that. I saw a video the other day of an infant can't even walk. And as the video clip starts, he's crying, screaming bloody murder. And he's crying. I was like, what's going on? And then the mom, her arm comes into frame and she has a pad in her hand. And as the pad gets closer to the baby, he stops screaming. As she takes it away, he starts screaming again. Then the video ends with her giving the baby the pad, and he completely stops screaming. Infant can't talk. First of all, I don't even know how that's possible. How does he interact? If I had to actually think about it, he's able to control something in his hands. And that is really big, right? This is why infants have infant level toys. You remember the big rings, and you put the rings and they were different colors, and you just put the ring on the little pole. It was only about 6 inches tall. And you put the rings, and there was the big ring, and then the smaller, and then smaller, then smaller, then smaller, right? The idea is that the baby is tactile, and he touches and holds the ring, and the baby can control something. Okay. That's the only equivalent thing that I could come up with. But this is on a completely different level. It's an iPad or something like that. And the baby is screaming bloody murder by the age of what? 9 months old? I just don't. Okay, so that's an example. And you know about the zombification of people with their phones, and they're walking around with their head hanging down, looking at their phone as they're walking. They are completely unaware of the entire world around them. I know because I have looked, and I said, I'm going to find something on my phone, and I'm walking, and I look at the phone, and it almost makes me completely blind. Other than the phone. I am a control freak. I want to know anything and everything that's going on around me. I have amazing peripheral vision. I can detect if somebody is walking 10 yards behind me. As soon as they develop a pattern of walking in the same direction as I am, although I'm looking straight ahead, I can detect that they're behind me, right? I know because a few months a guy did that. And then when he was walking faster, he said, "Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to startle you." I said, "I had already detected you. It's okay. I didn't mean to sneak up on you. You didn't." But when I look at the phone, peripheral vision goes completely blind, right? Everything is focused. I don't know what that is. I don't know if there's something in the light that's coming from the phone. I don't know what it is. Now, I said all of that just so you understand and you can relate to what I'm saying. You don't understand. Fear of missing out is an actual diagnosis now. That the person cannot dedicate themselves to living their life day to day, minute by minute. Oh, honey, I'm home. Yeah. I got to get on Facebook. I got to get on TikTok. I got to get on Instagram. It's just that serious. And I don't think you understand. Honey, I'm home. I have been out working all day, getting us money to pay for this house that you're sitting in, to pay for the phone that you're actually looking at. Can I get some sort of appreciation? Yeah. I have to watch these dance videos on TikTok. They're so funny. They're making fun of Trump. It's just that serious. Now, let's get into the hoflation. So that's really simple to understand, right? Fear of missing out. They can't live their life in the now. They can't even watch a TV show. They can't even watch a movie. They can't curl up with you and snuggle on the couch with you at 6 p.m. and watch John Wick or the Minecraft movie or Snow White if she forces you to watch that. She can't even go 2 hours watching that movie straight. She has to reach over, grab her phone. I just want to check out TikTok. I just want to check out Instagram. Okay, so that is the power that this stuff has over her, right? The mechanism itself, the phone itself, the social media website itself, the social media app itself, and then all of the ding dong, all of that stuff has control over her psychologically. It is just that serious. Now, let's get into the content. You have a woman saying, I divorced my husband. Okay, why'd you divorce your husband? That's supposed to be a rare occasion, because everybody should not get divorced, because if you're a Christian, that is not something you do, because it's till death do you part, to have and to hold, forever and ever. I divorced my husband because I am not happy. Now you're going to get average woman, no sort of training whatsoever, no psychology degree, no research and studies about human behavior, and you have a whole political movement telling women that their happiness is over and above everything else. That means it's over and above their marriage. It's over and above their job. It's over and above their children and the well-being of their children. And when I say the well-being of their children, I'm talking about over and above making sure that the child has a roof over his head, making sure that the child is fed, clothed, bathed, and the child is happy and psychologically healthy. That means that the child has a mother and a father. Her happiness is over the happiness of the child. Her happiness. What is her happiness? Shakaama, what is her happiness? I'm glad you asked that, Shakaama. Her happiness now translates to prostitution. Shakaama, that is impossible, as my mother would tell me. That's impossible. No woman would do that. No woman would think. You cannot convince me a woman thinks that way. They all do now. It's not just hoflation, meaning it's not that the average and below average woman thinks that they're a goddess, which is what hoflation is, and that a goddess has demands upon everybody around her, and everybody around her should serve and worship her. That's hoflation, right? Well, this is something a step further. Her happiness is now prostitution. Her happiness is sleeping with men and having men pay her. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. Sleeping with men and having men pay her. And what's funny is they have been convinced of this through TikTok, through Instagram, through Facebook, through YouTube Shorts, to the point that you cannot convince them that being a prostitute is a bad thing. Now they call it sex work. It is not sex work. It is not a legitimate job. It is something that a woman did to give men pleasure and to get something out of it. Snap, snap. Right away. And it's been, yes, it's the oldest quote unquote profession. That is a euphemism. That is a old saying that we say to tell you how old it is, not to tell you how legitimate the profession is. There's nothing good about it. Why is it not good to be a prostitute? Because the whole point of getting married and having a will and giving your legacy to your children is that you have a legacy, is that you have an unbroken line from father to son to grandson to great-grandson, unbroken line. And here is something that women do not share. The father and the son share the same DNA, but the father and the daughter, or the mother and the daughter, do not. There is something, simply because of the way the chromosomes actually work out, you have to have the Y chromosome come from the father. But the X chromosome can come from either the mother or the father. I'm sure you think you know how that works. That's not how that works. Because you have been confused in science and biology to believe that the sperm fertilizes the egg and the egg is the one that then does the thing. No, the way that actually works is the sperm eats the egg and the sperm then divides and all that sort of stuff. That's what's going on. So when you think of it that way, when you understand it that way, you understand that the X chromosome can actually come from anywhere. So the mother and the daughter, father and the daughter do not necessarily share the same DNA, but the father and the son do. The grandfather and the grandson do share the same exact thing. So when you say, you can't be sleeping around with every man, we now know that if you sleep with a guy unprotected, his DNA remains in you. So now when you go to give birth to your child and they do a DNA test and you say, how is this possible that my son is not my son? How is that possible? It's because the DNA is retained within the woman. And psychologically speaking, we now know that because of this, even one time, that the woman cannot pair bond. She does not bond to you. Also, we now know that she doesn't bond to her children. You wonder why the woman thinks it's perfectly okay that her happiness should come above her children's happiness? It's because she can't pair bond with the child. She doesn't imprint on the child. She is as much as a stranger to the child as any of those politicians in Washington, D.C. Complete strangers. And what's funny is she has far more emotions about the complete strangers in Washington than she does about her child that's sitting right next to her, that she handing the iPad to. I don't think you understand the seriousness of what is going on. It's beyond just hoflation. But that is just for the women who do that online stuff. And a lot of people have already said, you should not date and especially not marry a woman who has a social media account. At all. Don't do it. You do not have the expertise to battle what the social media is doing to her. You do not have the education to battle what the social media is doing to her psychologically. I got divorced from my husband. Why? Because I was not happy in my marriage. Okay, why weren't you happy in your marriage? I don't know. He was perfect. That should be the end of the video right there. That should be the end of anybody watching that video. But let's go on. He was perfect. He did everything perfect. His job was perfect. He makes fantastic money. But I divorced him. Why did you divorce him? Because I was not happy. I was not seen. Okay, what does that mean? When I said, put up the dishes that you have cleaned, he didn't listen to me. And I texted him and said, why are we doing this? And he texts back, what do you mean I'm at work? You are actually disturbing my job. I'm at work. You did not put up the clean dishes. I can't do this right now. I'm at work. Now, here's the context of the entire text. She is a influencer on TikTok. She works from home. She does all of her videos from home. He works all day, comes home, cleans up, and even puts the dishes in the dishwasher. They are perfectly clean, and she is angry about the clean dishes not being put up. She, if she wanted to, she could hire a maid. If she just really insisted on not putting the dishes up herself. But here's another shoe to drop. You look at all the comments and say, you're right, Queen. How dare he not see you? How dare you not be seen? In your perfect marriage, None of them stop and pause and say, girl, you have a perfect marriage? You have a guy that makes good money? You live in a McMansion? That means a smaller mansion. You don't have children? You work from home on TikTok? You're both probably worth a couple of $1,000,000? You're complaining about clean dishes? And she's a 4 all day long. She's a 4 at best. Even with makeup on, she's a 4. She's complaining and the women are supporting her. She gets all of her validation from the women in the comments. You cannot compete with social media. Do not date, especially do not marry a woman on social media who has social media. I realize that there are some women in my audience here on YouTube, and for whatever reason, they seem normal. They seem sane, but they're probably over 35. So it probably hasn't infected them to the degree that it infects all these 35 and under women. That is the only thing that I can come up with. But by that time, it's too late. They're probably already married. They probably have kids my age. They probably have signed a book of life, and they're good to go. This social media stuff is all new, and they can take it or leave it, right? But not the 35 and under crowd. They get their validation not only from women, but from men. So you're competing with all of that. Now you're competing with Drake. Who was it? The people were paying thousands of dollars to take a picture with him. Lil Nas X, I don't know. I forget who it was. And the boyfriends were having a fit. How you spend it? I would have dropped her immediately. What are you doing? Who cares? If that's what she wants. And please tell me you did not give her the money to give to another man to take a picture with him. Because women are emotional. Women are not visual. I just saw a video of a girl who went to go see a Drake concert, and she said that the opening act for the Drake concert was little Curly or something like that. And she said, I just saw the better half of the beautiful people. So I used to model, right? I then looked up Lil Curly or whatever his name is. And the dude is a 4 all day long. I was all like, what is going on? And she, the next morning, broke up with her boyfriend of 3-4 years. The YouTuber that I was watching said at the time, why is she going to a concert by herself? Why is she going to a concert without you? This is what you get. No, that's not what you get. He should not have been with this person in the first place. Men are not vetting the women. I guarantee you she has social media. Social media should be a complete red line. No, you can't cross this line at all. And you better not have a dating app. Nope, red line. You are not equipped to handle any of that stuff. And let me tell you, if you were equipped to handle that stuff, you would be their therapist. That's the kind of relationship you would be having. So, as Papa Shaka, your internet dad, is trying to tell you, you need to look out for yourself. You come first. If a woman says her happiness comes first, no, you come first. There are 52% women in the world, population-wise. There are more women than there are men. Hold on. There are more women than straight men. I think that's straight men are only like 45% of the population of the planet. In some cities, there are 2, 3, 4 women per man. That means number one, you are the prize, period. Hands down, you're the prize, period, right? Number 2, you have the options. And your options actually increase as you get older. The dating apps did a survey. Who is the most attractive guy on age group on Bumble? 51 years old. Why? because he's got his act together, he's got his money together, he has a house, he has his car. I can literally just step in and I have a ready-made life with a 51-year-old. That is not guaranteed at 25, and that's not guaranteed at 35. And especially after Biden, none of that is guaranteed. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video and share the video. And please tell me to drink water. I'm going to go drink water right now. Thank you.